up? Whoa, welcome, the world of Twitch, Facebook, and Instagram Live. Welcome to another rousing episode of the Souza Brothers Podcast, Living the Frickin' Dream, with myself, one of the Souzas, my brother, down in the lower right-hand corner, or the bottom if you're on mobile, and our guest of motherfucking honor today, Mr. Sean Killian. What's cracking, brother? How are you, man?
Oh, great, Cody.
Yeah?
Oh, you got the sound effects.
Oh, yeah, we got some stuff. I'll be adding a little bit of flares in here, you know what I mean? There's some push buttons. It's you know, as the viewers always kind of listen, it's pirate radio, man. There's glitches, there's bugs, but we add the things that, you know, I got the Jack Black spouting the F word off in here if I need to, you know what I mean? A couple of little funnies and stuff like that, so, blessed to have you on the podcast, man. I know my brother, you reached out to my brother and just asking, you know, hey, can I get on? It's just an honor, man, which is killer, brother.
Thanks,
so
I appreciate it.
Yeah. You guys
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, definitely. And you guys having, you know, Hatred on one of your guys' comeback shows, which is an honor for us. I think still like one of the few biggest crowds we've ever played in front of in the Oakland Metro that night was fucking raging, man. So that was sick. And, you know, many of other things. I'm going to let my brother lead off on here, man, but it's just excellent to have you in, dude. So
thanks, Cody.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know we were about to embark on our fucking UK, Bahrain, European tour and stuff. So, yeah, you expressed that you wanted to be on. So I was like, hell yeah, come out and hang out for a little bit. Hell yeah. So, we'll talk a little Vio, what we got going on, you know, everything that we did in the past year, you know, that I've done with you and shit like that. So, just wanted to have you on and shit. So, hell yeah.
Been great.
Yeah, so, yeah. No, but I guess we'll get started with the tour. We got a tour going on in 2 weeks. We kick off. We're going to go hit the UK, go hit with our boys in X-Hoarder, your boys, you know, more or less. And then they're going to be joining us for the UK portion of that, which is going to be, I believe, 10 shows, one in Scotland, one in Ireland. And then once we depart from Germany, we're going to be going to Spain and Portugal for one show.
Yeah,
and then
Lisbon.
after that, Lisbon, which I'm Portuguese, so I'm super excited about visiting the motherland, you know, going to get to do that with Vio-lence. But it's going to be rad. But the coolest part, I think, is it's going to be 35 years of oppressing the masses.
Yeah,
which
it's a long time.
Fucking insane because I'm 31 years old, so that dates 4 years prior to me, and I was actually talking to an ex-member of Vio-lence, and Cody's in the thank you notes on that album, and he's baby ? Believe it or not.
Oh, really?
He's under Phil Demel's notes where it says thank you Steve and Christine Souza and baby ?
Oh, it's me, sick. I'm legendary. Kidding.
No, I thought that was kind of cool that you're actually kind of featured on the album too, and then, you know, fast forward 35 years, I'm able to be on the anniversary tour, which I'm fucking completely honored to be a part of. So
yeah, thanks, Nick. I'm glad to have you.
No, totally. So no, but it's cool. And then this last year, I kind of joined the fold with you guys. I played that show with Body Count in that was a great show in Anaheim at the House of Blues with Patrick O'Brien rather, from the Mighty Cannibal Corpse. Right now he's playing with X-Hoarder in the USA and stuff, and
we'll be hanging out with them. We'll be hanging out with them in the UK. He's with them there too.
Oh, no way, he is.
Oh, that's cool.
He's able to do be mobile around the world now.
You got some visas, cool.
That's
man.
good.
That's excellent.
Good for him. Yeah, because everyone knows, you know, Pat O'Brien, he got into a little bit of trouble a couple years ago. He went a little
just rambunctious fun.
Yeah, right.
Things happen. People live their lives.
But, definitely, man. That's the way to say it. I mean, the coolest dude too. Like, even third party, you guys are in a band, or at least share the stage with him. And at the Death Angel show, is the first time I got to talk to him. The calmest, most gentle guy in the room too. Totally cool. Everyone's partying and raging. He's over in the corner playing his guitar, like typical savant type stuff. You know what I mean? So that was excellent.
Yeah.
It was cool. I got to take him to the brewery and show him my job and stuff, and all the guys at my brewery, Ghost Town Brewing, are big Cannibal Corpse fans, so he was getting loose. I really got to know who he was after every beer he was drinking. He was kind of opening up. Like, dude, that was a lot of fun. But we have a couple questions before, you know, I joined the fold, obviously, with the reunion. The band's lineup mixes original members, new blood, obviously, with me. And then, but you've had, like Christian Oli Wubbers was in the band when I joined. There's Bobby Gustafson. How has the chemistry with these guys and kind of me evolved on board? What's it like balancing the old thrash spirits with like the new influences and stuff?
Well, the older guys like it tight and right, and it's like,
right.
When you get guys like Bobby and Christian and stuff like that, they're really, really particular. And the young guys come in, and we've had some good young guys, yourself included. And it's like a role you have to live up to that for them. And for me, I just go out and do my thing as long as I can stay on time. Hear the kick drum.
Right.
I don't listen to the guitars. I don't listen to anything. I just listen to me and that.
Oh, cool. So as a vocalist, straight to kick, that's it? You're just like literally running in a line. Like, what comes at what point?
Okay.
Kick and a little bit of snare.
That's
and,
cool.
My in-ear, so like, I only wear one in-ear, but because I like to hear the feel of the place.
I do the same thing.
You put on both of them, and it feels like you're lost,
Yeah. If your mix isn't perfect, you can't, even if you just want to hear the cymbals and like you said, the ambiance, it's gone, right? Like this last tour, I did the one in ear too. Totally. I agree.
Yeah.
So.
But and it's great having, those guys join, of course, the original members and now we have, we're heading to the UK with Ira back, and Ira's a great guy, dependable, and he's a solid player. And then we got Jeff Salgado from Psychosomatic. He'll be playing bass, and
that's
nice. Shout out, Jeff.
He's a veteran musician.
Yeah,
he's been around for a long. I mean, I know I'm not sure how old. I want to say he's like 55 or something.
Yeah.
So and he's ready. And then we'll be heading over there with Claudius Kramer too. So I can't wait for that. Start practicing, getting ready for this tour, and hit Vegas and hit LA and head overseas.
Yeah, from fucking Possessed too. We have Claudius joining us on this 35th anniversary of Oppressing the Masses and stuff. So looking forward to jamming with him. That's going to be fucking legendary. It was cool.
Nice guy. I've hung out with him before. Really mellow dude.
Yeah, he's always been really kind to us. So we stopped by and chatted, and I think we missed their set at Milwaukee Metal Fest. And I think I ran into Claudius like 3 times. He's like, "I'm missing your set." And I'm like, "Oh, the Bay Area blood's going on at the same time." Like, it was funny, but he was always very, very kind, very, very cool to us.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, he's always a good dude. Yeah, I was telling him. Yeah, we played From Hell, which was his band with George a couple times.
Yeah.
And stuff, and that was a cool time and stuff. So
cool.
But man. No, but it's been it's been cool jamming. You guys were here the other day. We kind of just did like a little garage jam here in the stream barn in my backyard, and we old schooled and had this little speaker. Fucking Jeff brought his practice amp. I had my fucking drums dialed. No, it was cool. It was
Back
cool.
to
I had
the
a lot of fun
garage
doing that.
days, huh?
Back to the garage days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
no.
And
No,
and
I
everyone in
I
this
wasn't even using the mic. I wasn't even using the mic. I was just kind of singing along.
Just working on timing and stuff. And
timing, yeah, exactly.
Nice. And that brings it back to, like, when we talk about the garage days, you're an old school Dublin boy as well, too, or at least where Vio-lence originated, right, Sean? Or are you,
I grew up in Castro Valley.
Okay,
so
cool.
right over the hill.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. And we were Castro Valley boys, too. That was the 2 main places me and my brother had lived throughout our lives. So, yeah.
Yeah. And, like, Dean, he was from Castro Valley, and his brother Dave, and, Cliff was from Castro Valley. A lot of Yaz, Mike Yashrimsky, who was the original bass player in Heathen. He was from there. And,
Yaz, right.
Cool.
Yeah. And so
Matheny.
Rest in peace, Matheny. Rest in peace. Love the homie.
Yep. And then the rest of the guys, we kind of met up in Ruthie's Inn, going there every weekend,
Oh yeah.
seeing bands.
Hell yeah. Speaking of that, kind of looking back on Vio-lence's first era, the 80s, the 90s, the band ended just as Thrash's heyday kind of left the music industry. And then you were quoted as finding it disgusting back then. With that in hindsight, are there any lessons you learned from the early years, and what would you have done differently? And now that you're back together with this new lineup with the Vio-lence, what's the wiser decisions you would make now rather than back in the day?
Well, back in the day, you didn't have digital, you didn't have social media, you didn't have any of that. You had labels, and you'd get money from labels to record, and they'd be responsible for putting all your stuff out. And then the second time around, when you went to submit your second record, that's when they would be like, well, we want you to do this and we want you to do that. And you really didn't have any, creative freedom really. And so that's why none of our records are on the same label.
Gotcha.
We did Eternal Nightmare on Mechanics, and then we submitted Oppressing the Masses, and they went as far as to rewrite my lyrics, and so that ended that.
Oh man, that much control and power, huh? They really tried to pull the reins that hard. Ugh.
Yeah, and then we went to Megaforce and with Maria, and we had a good relationship there, and like a bunch of young knuckleheads, Debbie was having some health issues and was totally. Basically we were out there, and she was going through her health issues at the time, so we've made a move to get new management. Well, because she just didn't have the time, right? Her health is far more important than Vio-lence. That's for damn sure.
Definitely right.
But we made a stupid decision by moving on from Debbie, and that kind of pissed off Megaforce. And John, we submitted our record, Depressing the Masses, to Johnny Z, and he wanted me to re-record all the vocals and take our publishing money and do this and do that, and we just weren't doing it. And then the record came out, and we didn't get a whole lot of support from it. But that's one of those mistakes that you make as a young man. You think you know what you're doing when you should actually be listening to people who are like a lot more experienced than you.
Right.
And then when you get the experience, you realize, well, I don't really want a 7-record deal. I just want to do one at a time. Right. If that's okay.
Just ride it out as it kind of goes, Yeah.
Yeah. And we're fortunate to have Heidi over at Metal Blade, and she really is a big Vio-lence fan, and she supports us big time. So, they don't because we just have our one at a time, relationship. They really don't put any pressure. There's no pressure on us to get out there and, right now we need an album. There's nothing like that.
Right.
I know they'd like me. I'd like to, after this tour, we're going to sit down and start writing some stuff. But, that's kind of the lesson I learned from making those mistakes back then. Is today it's like, work with people that that are into you, that, are on the same vibe you are, and then no 7-record deals,
right.
as enticing as they might be,
Yeah.
Don't throw all your merchandise rights away. Don't you know. I hear like the rappers get like fat record deals now, millions of dollars, but the recoups on it's like a less than 1%, so they'll never pay it off and never see $1.
Never.
And it's like you really got to read those like carefully nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like merch. Heck, I at the time when I was a young man, I didn't even know who was handling what or where the money was going, or didn't really pay attention to it, as long as we were playing. And, so now it's like, now that I'm older and running the show with our manager, Jeff Keller, he's a big help.
Yeah.
But, he, we take cash for merch if we can. We do
for sure.
Venmo if we can, but, I try to get as much control of it as possible to generate that revenue, and budgets are being done and stuff. When I was a kid, when I was a young man, we didn't know shit.
Yeah.
We just played.
Even at our level, as small as it is, the few U.S. runs we do a year for a minimal amount of money, it's like it's all got to be budgeted. Like merch is everything to stay alive. Our show guarantee, is what it is. But yeah, it's crazy. We got to run it even at our, like I said, which is nothing big at all. Our level is ran like a business as well too. It's crazy. Otherwise, you'll go in and go under. And we're fortunate enough we don't make any money when we're out, but it pays for itself, right? So we do the numbers that well, right? You know what I mean? So.
Well, that's the thing with the merch. It's like that's your money machine right there, and we do well on. People buy the merch up. I mean, I run out of merch on tours.
That's good.
We bring as much as possible, and then it's like you have to keep replenishing. So,
Yeah, I remember the Christmas shows.
Tim. when I'm in the States, we use Cyclics, and he ships merch out ahead of me to the clubs.
Yeah.
Which helps,
cool.
so I don't have to carry as much. But on this European one, Razzmatazz is our merch company out there in Europe, and they'll supply us with boxes. Then but we have a bus to keep it in, and when you're driving a van around, you don't have a whole lot of room for merch.
It's in the trailer, half a gear.
No, one axle trailer with all of our gear and everything stacked to the fucking ceiling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You gotta have some. You gotta be strategic.
Oh yeah, no, it's literally playing Tetris. If you just throw the gear in there, it won't fit. Like everything has a place in there, and coordination. So
yeah,
no, that's fun.
But yeah, so I would say I'm a lot more wise about it now. I'm fortunate too because I'm a general contractor, and that helps me to be able to leave when I need to go do this, which is something I enjoy. It's not my money. It's not my money maker or my contractor's license is, but it's one of those things. You only live once, right? If you can get out there and bring the music to people that haven't seen it before, that's really my goal. That's what drives me.
A passion and
100%.
Time, right? Yeah.
No, yeah, being in, and I will fucking go against the trolls right now. As being in a band with you, I see a lot of the trolls saying, "Oh, this is the Sean Killian project. Oh, they should break up, this and that, woo woo," and it's like, you're having fun with this. I'm having fun with this. The fans are having fun with this.
Yeah, they show
Don't go to the shows. Don't go buy the albums.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about it. But it's just people being trolls on the internet. But I mean, we go. I mean, I've done a couple tours with Vio-lence now, a couple one-offs and stuff, and everyone's having a great time. I see people fucking smiling, people moshing, everyone's singing the lyrics. No, everyone's having a good time. That's what it's all about. If no one was showing up and people are picketing our shows saying, fuck these guys, that'd be another story. But all the shows I've played with Vio-lence have been sold out and people have been happy. So, people want to hear the song. So I don't blame you. And for all the trolls that say that, I don't think they actually mean that, because they'll turn around and go, well, I love bands like Sepultura, and which I do too, but that's the same thing with them. There's one or no original members there. And I Machine Head, love Machine Head to death, but it's just Rob. Like no one cares there. He'll still sell out Fox Theater in Oakland, so
he's headlining all of these festivals.
Yeah.
Right.
It's Rob's band. It always has been Rob's band, so.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the people with the loudest voice on the internet too are the motherfuckers that aren't going to shows, aren't supporting the band, and aren't buying merch either. It's just the internet keyboard warriors that are miserable with themselves. You know what I mean? So
they're trolls. They got like 90 followers, and it's like
usually have a fake profile
be negative
photo.
All you want.
Yeah.
What's that?
They usually have a fake profile photo. You notice the shit talkers never have their real photo. It's always like a cartoon or a picture of their dog or something.
Yeah.
It's like motherfuckers with tinted windows. How come motherfuckers with tinted windows are the worst drivers? So when you go up next to them and mug them, you can't see their ass. They're totally hiding, and then that's my brother.
I'm a good driver though, motherfucker. But still.
No, but you know what I mean, right? Good enough.
I know what you mean.
But, there's negative people out there. It's like, whatever, you're negative. I mean, I don't let, I control my own emotions, internally. It's like, I can't control what other people say or do. And I'm not going to talk back to them because it doesn't make any sense, really, in the long run. And, so it's like, whatever, say what you want, I'm out here bringing you see most, and there's more positives comments than negative.
Oh,
it's just
definitely.
one or two retards, that go out there and say stupid shit.
Yeah, I mean, even
it's like whatever.
Yeah.
The people that in the UK, they're going to get to see this music played live, and Oppressing the Masses is a really big record in Europe. I mean, Christian, that's what he first started listening to when he listened to Vio-lence. Was Oppressing the Masses. That's what helped. That's what inspired him.
He grew up in Brussels.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, I'll be there and you won't.
Yeah, and people are happy with it too.
People will show up.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
in the chat here,
for me, it's like it's not a standing around thing. It's like I look you right in the eyes if you're in the crowd. I'm not standing there looking down at the floor, or up at the ceiling, or over your head.
Yeah,
I'm hunting for eyeballs.
Hell yeah, man.
And people kind of get like uncomfortable. Then I know I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, as far as even the people in the chat here today, Among the Joes, I'm happy to see Vio-lence in Brooklyn last year. Pirate Flag Radio 209. I'm thankful you're keeping Vio alive. I saw Petey Bob Salad earlier in here saying some killer words. So, I mean, only the loves. Among the Joes saying Oppress Them on the Masses is my favorite record. So, just support from all over, so.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it.
No. Yeah, man. And then speaking of Oppressing the Masses, do you know off the top of your head, or if you did some thinking, what songs Vio-lence has never played live off of that record that we were going to, or potentially play live? I guess we're playing the whole album, so yeah.
Yeah, Oppressing the Masses, Engulfed by Flames.
Oh, wow.
We've played Liquid Courage at Slim's after the Thrash of the Titans back in 2001 or whatever, 2002. Yeah. But it's like I've always wanted to have this Oppressing the Masses set, and I always got pushback because of it. Oh, the songs are harder and they sound, and it's like, well, okay, whatever. People want to hear them. So now that now that I'm, I'm the original member, and it's like okay, those decisions are mine now, and I feel that I've a lot more freedom,
Yeah. Are you playing other?
I can't wait to start writing too, because that's going to be the same thing. It's like,
yeah, that's sick. Are you playing other songs as well too? I saw someone in here asking, are you guys playing Torture Tactics on this tour coming around too? Is it just Oppressing or?
Hang on, someone's trying to call me.
You're good. That happens.
Good?
Sometimes my phone will pause and whatnot, and it'll go away.
Unfortunately, that is the only song off Oppressing the Masses we are not playing.
Really?
Torture Tactics.
Oh man.
I guess I'll answer that one. Yeah. We are not playing Torture Tactics, which I love that song. I think it's a great song. Oh,
no, you're good, brother. Yeah.
Welcome back.
Oh yeah, so the last question was, are you guys playing Torture Tactics? And my brother said that sadly that's the one song that's not going to be making it, huh?
Yeah, no, because I wanted to get all the songs that are on the record, in the set list, and then there's Eternal Nightmare songs that we have to play. People
the mandatories.
They want to hear.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the mandatories.
Yeah.
Right. And yes, and I'd like to slip one in from Let the World Burn, but we'll see, because what's important is that we're playing all the Oppressing songs, right now.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, we do that. The Let the World Burn song. I love playing that song live, Upon the Cross. If anybody's listening right now, yeah.
Upon the Cross is pretty heavy.
It's a fucking heavy one, yeah, and I love getting the crowd going on that. We have to do this part where we stop and hi, and the crowd usually goes, and it's cool. It's fun. It's a jammer too. It's a good break between the choppy thrash beats.
Yeah.
I like asking all the OG thrashers this though, and most of them have the similar answer, and I know the answer to this, but whatever. The Bay Area thrashing in the '80s was legendary, taking the West Coast by storm. What are some of your strongest memories in that scene? And that's you can think of some really, really cool memories there. And then the second part of this, I know the answer to this, but I just want to hear your opinion because I respect it. And how do you feel about the Bay Area thrash scene now as it compares decades later, now that you've returned to it?
Yeah. What'd you ask me the first part?
So the first part was
I was like, long question.
No, I
know.
Hold on.
If you like that, do you like this? No, I'm teasing.
Total Joe Rogan format there. No, but all right. So the Bay Area thrash scene in the '80s. What are some of the strongest memories? I mean, from Rookies, from Blue Gardens, all that.
Yeah, for me, the my greatest experience with the Bay Area thrash scene was seeing Slayer at the Keystone Berkeley. Me and Dave Dell went. It was their first show in Northern California. They still had the eye makeup on, and I didn't know shit about what was. I had no idea about what was about to happen. So Dave, he and I were standing about 5 feet from the stage. He's all, I'm gonna go get a beer. I'll be right back. But he never came back. The band came on, and I was like standing there in the middle of the pit, like, what the fuck? Because I'd never experienced it before. So I went to the back, and there's Dave with 2 beers laughing.
Sick. You need a bail.
And that was a great show. And then they played Ruthie's Inn the next weekend, and I was at that show, and that was probably one of my favorite experiences, you know?
Wow.
But I saw Megadeth at Ruthie's Inn, and there wasn't that many people, you know. It was just Dave's first return to the Bay Area. You know, all the shows at Ruthie's were, you know, you really had to keep your head on a swivel because it wasn't the circle pit, you know?
Yeah.
There was helicopter swinging and fucking people going the opposite direction, flying off the stage with the kung fu fucking foot first.
Skull walkers, right?
Skull walkers, like Toby Rage would walk over people's heads, and and Andy Anderson, he'd be, you know, flying off the stage. It was just a crazy time, you know. It wasn't like, honestly, the pits today, it's like a controlled circle, and you know,
totally.
Everyone's looking out for each other.
Everyone kind of flows around. Yeah. And back then, everyone looked out for each other, but it was a lot more brutal.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
these pussies nowadays.
Today's, in today's Bay Area thrashing, you know, the original, the 80s bands, the fans come out, man. You know, they come to see the show, and they still, you know, it's like, they're proud of the fact that they're in this area, that this magical moment occurred, you know, back then. And so when we play, or Exodus or Death Angel or Forbidden or whoever, you know, they get a great response, you know. So
yeah,
it's just unfortunate that there's not a lot of, you know, back then there was so many bands and there was always a show. You know, it just seems like there's not as many places to play like there was then, you know. I mean, there's Toots Tavern, but who's going out there?
Yeah,
you
Toots.
Know?
Yeah, I mean, there's some. Yeah, Vinny's is kind of picking up some crowd, but yeah, it's just not as much as me and Nick hear it a lot too. It's like you guys missed the heyday. We missed Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll. We missed the Omni and, like, you know, all the spots, Ruthie's Inn and stuff like that. You know, so.
Yeah, and when you were in San Francisco, if you went to the Stone and you wanted to leave there was Mabuhay across the street, and then on Broadway above that.
Yeah.
You know, there was clubs there that you can go see more bands. You know.
Yeah.
And it's not it's just walking. You know, and now it's like it's not really like that anymore.
Nice.
I mean, there's great clubs, but it's not like back then.
Nice, killer. There was a question in the chat I wanted to ask because I had to look it up and see what it was. Steve Gregory is asking, do you still have a Vio-lence Vomit Pack record? And I'm looking that up right now. And I guess it was a 10-inch you guys gave out that had a bunch of fake vomit or something in it.
Yeah, it was chicken soup and cream of chicken and I think vinegar they put in it. And
that's so cool.
Yeah, so the plastic cover had a pouch on the front, so you could pull the record out. But yeah, I still have one. Yeah,
that's excellent. I was like, he asked that question, and I had to Google it on the side. I'm like, what is this guy? What is he asking? And I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. I'm asking this question.
So just know that Nick Souza is going to be looking for the re-release of those. We're going to be doing some reprints of
the vomit packs.
That's great though. What a great idea.
That is cool.
The vomit pack? I have one.
You know, I kind of like the interview.
The vomit pack record?
Yeah.
The one the Vio-lence record?
The vomit?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well,
Help from Sean's lovely wife in here.
Yeah. Oh, is it behind one of those? Well, since you asked, I got to show it now.
I know.
Oh yeah, no, we got to find this.
There it is.
We're finding the vomit pack right now.
If you guys are listening to the podcast after the fact, too, be sure to check out the YouTube version. Oh, there it is. Sick.
Oh shit.
I love that.
All dried up and gross.
Oh, dude, that's still so cool though. Like just the storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Steve Gregory said his is all dried up too, but he still has his. Oh, that's so fucking cool. A little memory like that, man. Love that.
Awesome. Yeah.
What year was that? 1990?
88, it says.
I think it was 88 because the record came out in 88, Eternal Nightmare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says it was a dual track Ethereal or Ethereal. Sorry, we have a song, Eternal. Oh my God, I'm in trouble for that. And Photophobia. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey there, you dogs.
Sorry. That's pretty cool, man. Hey, I love the little field trip with Mr. Killian over here, kicking that ass. Hell yeah.
There you go.
No, that's awesome.
Somebody
one time
I had to show it to him.
you gotta show that shit. One time I got some shit from an ex-member of Vio-lence for when we had a single come out in 2019, and it was called Ethereal Nightmare, and Vio-lence has a song called Eternal Nightmare. And so this ex-guitar player texted me and was like, "Hey man, what's up with this?" And I'm like, "Hey man."
Yeah, and it really has nothing to do. No offense.
Panties in a bunch.
Yeah, no
Don't
offense.
get your panties in a bunch over.
Sheesh, like that. I gotta hit the sheesh button for that. It had nothing to do with Vio-lence. Always loved the song, always supported you guys. It literally was about a video game and the ethereal, like something that's so real but not real. It's like it's ethereal, right? That's what it was, a nightmare. It's actually about Freddy Krueger because his nightmares weren't real but they were, like, so that's what that song was about. But yeah, which is funny.
Well, there was some band I can't remember if it was grindcore or what, but they called their record Eternal Nightmare. I messaged them like, "Are you fucking stupid?"
Yeah, come on, man.
That's different.
I mean,
for
really.
Sure. That's yeah. Come on now.
Yeah.
If you're not in the know, then you're literally an idiot. After doing that, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, they all had fancy outfits that they'd wear on stage and all that, stuff. So.
Yeah.
Oh, like Flesh God Apocalypse.
Well, their metal extended. Their metal didn't extend beyond their leather and whatever they were wearing.
No bueno.
But yeah, it was a uniform almost. It's like yeah.
Excellent.
No, that's great. So I did have a question because I know this about you because I'm in a band with you and we're friends and stuff. But a lot of people I don't think know this, the kind of the after fact about your liver condition and how it's genetic. But you faced some serious health battles with stage 4 liver cirrhosis that led to
my liver was dead. So
in 2018, kind of an open question, but just kind of talk about the journey overcoming life-threatening and challenging impacted you both personally and as an artist. Did the experience change your outlook on life and music and stuff like that?
Oh yeah. I went through it for about 18 months, before my transplant. So I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. It was so difficult to deal with. They literally would pump 10 to 12 liters of fluid out of my abdomen every week. Because your liver, won't let anything through. So your body starts, putting all these proteins and sodium and fluids out of from the vein that goes between your spleen and your liver. It starts excreting it into your abdomen and fills up. So 10 to 12 liters every week they would pump out of me, and not your like stomach, but your abdomen.
Yeah. Oh man.
And then it's just you're miserable. I went from like 195 pounds to 140 and. Yeah, it was horrible.
Jesus Christ.
And then, I was fortunate. I got involved with UCSF's program, and they have a living donor program. And my, at the time, brother-in-law, Kevin Rivero, he was he did the blood work and was a match. And then we proceeded from there. Awesome. They took 63%. Yeah, they took 63% of his liver and put it in me. And it was like a 12-hour surgery for me. And I didn't wake up. Yeah, they didn't wake me up for 2 days after.
Man. and I think I've read that too. Like, you can partition a liver and it'll grow back in both people, right? Type deal or whatnot.
Yeah,
how that works. Ah, that's
so cool. The surgery was March 26th, and he was back to work at towards the end of June.
Okay.
Wow.
A little recovery for him as well.
With his liver had fully returned, fully grown back.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And your condition was genetic, right?
Yeah, it was. It was called alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. So you have this protein in your body, and it it cleans your liver cells and your lung cells, and it's called alpha-1 antitrypsin.
Okay.
And then you dispose of the toxins, through your body, piss them out, shit them out, whatever.
Yeah.
But my body didn't make it because I got it's a Z and a Y chromosome, and I got 2 Z's, and that's what you don't want to have. So, but people with COPD have the same problem. So I have like about 75% lung capacity. So when you see me on stage doing all, because I know people trip out during the show that the charity show that everyone did for me, which was, blessing.
Yeah.
It was like I was sitting back watching people doing the lyrics, and it was like, you got to take a breath and calm down, because if you start pushing, it ain't going to work. It just doesn't work that way. And so and I think, too, a lot of those guys got a new appreciation for, this music and what we did to create it, and which was cool. But, after everything was said and done, I was back on my feet, and I just totally looked at life different. And it was just all these people came out, and they helped me, and then people showed up to support, so I just felt like because I always was feeling like I got to get back on stage to repay these people for, coming out and supporting me. So then it was just a phone call, and, boom, we're on stage at the Metro.
Yeah, that's killer, man.
April 13th and 14th or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. We played the first one, though.
Yeah,
cool. We were talking about that earlier.
That was awesome.
I remember you came out to see us at the Den of Sin, and I was just stoked to see you back in the scene, like not only performing, but hanging out. And I'm like, bro, let me know if you need something. And you're like, what are you, the host tonight? And I'm like, bro, I'm just happy to see you here, right? You know what I mean? Like, it was just good times. Let me know if you need a beer.
Yeah.
So, obviously not a beer right time, but let me know if you need something. I'm here to help, right? So, you know what I mean? But
no, that was cool. Yeah. No, the Killian on Command show, that was awesome. I was there. Tried to play a show, but I got denied. Tried to play a song, got denied.
Oh, you did?
But then yeah.
But we did our own benefit for Sean, and I want to say bring Mr. Jeff back into the mix. Wasn't Psychosomatic on that?
Yeah, Psychosomatic. Yeah, I believe. At
the Starlight.
I believe the Starlight Ballroom. Yeah, we sold it out.
Yeah,
it was a good show. Yeah,
I was gonna go, but I just was feeling so miserable.
Yeah, we had heard you were kind of having a down day. You were in the thick of it then too, I think. Right?
Yeah, it was when you were in the thickest of it. Yeah, that was bad. Yeah. But it was cool. It's great to see the whole scene come to support you and stuff. The way they did with Chuck Billy. The way the Bay Area comes together. We had Scott Chavez from Short Fuse on last week. He just got diagnosed with cancer, so we donated some money to him and stuff. And he's a great guy, and they're a great band and stuff. So it's always a testament to the Bay Area coming through and taking care of each other, and that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I feel fortunate. There was like benefits in Colombia and Brazil and other places too.
That's
so
fucking
awesome.
killer, man. The love is just so thick,
No, it's fucking awesome there. Yeah, I don't want to take up too much of your time, Sean. We're about to go on the road here in a couple weeks. We're having, I think we're gonna get together at my house and jam on Saturday and stuff, and just want to know, I know the fucking answer to this, but I'm trying to hold a fucking podcast here. What does the future for Vio-lence hold? What's some things to look out for? We're not going away. I can promise you that. So
no, we're gonna do this tour and then start writing, and I'm hoping to have something complete by November, somewhere in there. I'd like to do a full length record, not a EP. Yeah. So I've been talking to other musicians about contributing. And there's a few people that are, I'd love to write some songs with you. And so that I think, because I don't want the record, I don't want to write something that sounds like everything I've done in the past. I want this to be something that's special and really heavy, and it's something that people can really digest, and come out and check it out. So I just want to write with different kind of musicians, and I don't care what genre they write. And
nice.
The ones I've talked to is like, well, what kind of a thrash riff? And it's like, I don't care what kind of a thrash. I just want good, solid, heavy fucking shit.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I want, so.
It's epic, man.
Because as soon as I start singing over, it's violence.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of find that in our camp a lot too. And I was gonna ask you that too. Like I find, like, obviously my voice sounds like my father's a lot, or like Trevor from the Black Dahlia Murder, rest in peace. Very shrieky. Not a lot of people do that kind of vocals that we do. But you, I mean, being on here, I wanted to ask what your vocal influences were as a vocalist myself, because like your voice is very much one of a kind too. I don't know if people that like kind of as fast and as high and like the peaks and valleys you get to really quick. Where do you draw inspiration from that, Sean?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of the sound, it comes from the lyrics I write and how many words I put in and how I fit it into the music. The cadence of the lyrics.
Yeah.
It kind of drives that. And then, I was always into GBH and, Fear and, just that hard punk.
Hell yeah.
With,
cool.
Especially GBH, Drugs Party at 526. And that's like one of my favorites.
You can feel the attitude in it, right? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And so that's too, that was what I wanted to bring, was just that, that attitude. And it wasn't like the attitude was like something I created. It just happened.
Yeah, man.
And then if the band's called Vio-lence, the lyrics got to be fucking difficult for people to digest sometimes, except all these crazy people like myself.
Like you were saying earlier, dude, you better take a breather, because like you do some run-ons, man, and you don't run out of gas on there, and then like immediately go to a muggy face where you're mugging the crowd and stuff. I'd be like, fat guy fucking pantsing over on the side of the stage. You know what I mean? So it's just killer, dude.
Well, I got my zone, right? I just gotta stay in the zone and just be calm and not let my mind get ahead of me. Start racing, because then you start pushing, and if you start pushing, that's when you start running into problems.
Forcing it, right?
For me,
gas.
Yeah.
Totally.
Right.
When vocal cords, like you'll feel your vocal cords start to tighten up. If you're pushing and.
Totally.
So it's like I got my slot and I stay in it, and from that position, my vocals, I'm able to go wherever I want, and of course I'm not King Diamond or nothing, but
but you're right. You got to find that vocalist part and respect it. It's almost like a feel. You can't even describe it. You just got to know you're there. And like, it sucks if a monitor's too low. Like you said, you can immediately feel like that string getting tighter, and you're like, oh, dude, if I fuck this up, like. Especially at hate street level, we don't get days off. I don't have time to fucking heal, So it's like it could be detrimental, especially someone as extreme as yourself. You know what I mean? So.
Well, that second night of the reunion shows at the Metro, I had no monitors. I couldn't hear myself, and the next week and a half, I was pretty hoarse.
Oh, dude, it's fucked. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I can hear myself in my head. And that was the first time for what. A long time, 13 years, 14 years.
Yeah.
And right now it's like, because we've been doing a lot of shows, I'm able to, even if the monitors went away, I could still stay in my zone because I can feel it in my head, but I use my in-ear, and my in-ear helps big time.
Totally. Yeah. I loved my in-ear so much it gave me tinnitus on the last tour, so my ears are fucking ringing. No bueno. So...
Yeah,
you got to be careful with those because they're so loud and it sounds so good, but you're combating the rest of the stage. It's like, fuck, right? Yeah. My right ear rings a lot worse than my left ear, but it's my in-ear ear. So next tour, I'm going to have to respect it a lot more, which is something I'm going to work on.
Yeah,
so.
I switch ears. Yeah.
I should have done that, right? Like, damage them equally as I'm going down the road or give one a day off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Which is killer, so... fucking excellent, man. Well, hey, we appreciate the time, Sean. Nick, did you have anything you want to go over? I know you're going to spend some time with him in the bus there. I can see the Riot Squad, which is, our crew that comes in here in the chat. We really loved having you here today, Sean. Any parting words of wisdom from you, man? Again, this will be on YouTube and podcast networks after the fact. Anything that I say, everyone go follow this Vio-lence's Spotify, Apple Music. Make sure you stream it, support the band, get on their merch site, buy some fucking t-shirts, get these guys down the road that much further. Anything you want to add, Sean?
Just, we're playing Vegas on April 10th. And we'll be in LA at the Terragram Ballroom with Evil Dead, and that'll be a great show. And then we'll be heading out to Europe, to London and Spain, Portugal, and Bahrain, and come out and check it out. Tickets are available, and we love to see people. What's funny is I love to see the people that are in their 40s, 50s go, man, I went in the pit tonight. I couldn't help myself.
Ah, dude, that's always a good one.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I told my wife I wasn't going to, but I had to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If that's you, fucking join in, man.
Join in.
It's a fun time, and I hate barriers because I like to be in contact with the crowd, and so if you're into that and you want to see some good hard thrash metal and jump in the pit and stage dive, then you should be at a Vio-lence show.
Hell yeah, guys.
When we were, real quick, to piggyback on that, when we were playing Vakken, when we did World in a World, Sean just jumps into the fucking crowd, but he was only on like a 15-foot like cord, so he was like front row, just crowd surfing, singing, and me, Christian, and Mario are looking at each other like, did he just do that? Yeah. Like,
oh, jeez.
That was a good time.
The worst part, I told the stage guy, hey, I need a 40-foot cord so I gotta have long cord. And I got out there, I was like, what the fuck is this? It's like
garage band fucking no room at all. Fucking hell, awesome.
Yep.
So
no, but good time. Yeah, come see us in Vio-lence in the UK. Hang out with us in Exorder. If you're in Portugal, Spain, if any Hatred fans, come to the show. I'll sign Hatred shit. Come watch our Vio-lence set. Fucking come hang out with me. I'll drink a beer with you. So come roll out. If any UK fans or any Spain Hatred fans roll out, I'll hang out.
Killer guys.
So, hell yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well, you guys be good. You both travel safe. I think I'll see Nick before he leaves. But Mr. Killian, be good, man. Much love and half. Thank you so much for coming by, stopping by the podcast, keeping it heavy with us. And anything you need from our camp, obviously my brother's a phone call away from you, but me as well. Tell your wife we said hello. And you guys have a good rest of your freaking evening, all right?
You too. Thanks a lot.
All right, you guys be good.
All right, guys,
Talk to you soon. Later. Bye.